Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is another video in the series of rules to deal with narcissistic people, and this rule is simply do not deal with them at all costs. Avoid them, avoid communication with them, avoid falling into their traps, avoid their games, even in a court situation. Avoid the narcissist at all costs, give the narcissist zero attention and focus all your attention on the judges, feeding information to the judges, and ignore the narcissist at all costs. When it comes to ignoring narcissistic people, you do need to be careful. So if it's one friend in a friendship group, if it's one family member when you're out and at an event, things like this, it's easier to implement the don't deal with them rule. When it's an intimate partner, when it's somebody you live with, when it comes to dealing with narcissistic people, you do have to tread very, very carefully, because those that are high in the criteria of entitlement and lack of empathy, you need to be extremely cautious around. Because sometimes when you stop dealing with them, they're going to escalate their games to get something from you. As one of the criteria of the disorder is requires excessive admiration. They require that attention from you, usually to fill up their own self-esteem issues, because they're struggling internally and there's nothing you can do to help them with that. They have got to rescue themselves from that. However, they don't want to. They see a method of rescuing themselves by pulling other people down. So because of their own internal struggles, they require that admiration, they require that attention from elsewhere, and they learn who they can get that attention from. They learn what kind of mood they're in and how to pull that mood out within others. So if there's a special occasion going off that isn't about the narcissist, so they're feeling miserable, they're going to go all out to make everyone around them feel miserable. And then once they've got everyone else feeling miserable, you'll notice the narcissist is suddenly all smug and all happy and all, oh, what's your problem? What's wrong with you? Don't you want to go? And all of a sudden they feel better because they've passed their feelings over to you. Narcissistic people will play the hero to gain admiration. They will come along as your saviour. They will do so many things for you to play the hero, to gain admiration, and to later down the line use those very things against you. After all I've done for you, remember when I did this for you? A narcissist will play the victim to gain sympathetic attention, to gain that compassion. If it wasn't for them, oh, you know what a rough time I've had, to pull on people's empathy, to pull on people's compassion. A narcissist will be controversial for controversial's sake, just to create that argument between those around them. They will blame, shame, criticise, judge others to feel better about to not only feel better about their own insecurities, but also to pull other people down. If they can get everybody gossiping about one person, it creates a sense of smugness in the narcissist that people agree with their narcissist's opinion, when the narcissist doesn't usually recognise that people are fawning to the narcissist's behaviour and daren't speak against them. A narcissist will exaggerate. They will exaggerate achievements to gain that admiration. They will exaggerate their traumas to gain that compassion. A narcissist will guilt trip people to get their needs met by people. A narcissist will go all out to create drama, conflict and absolute chaos, and then they will stand back and watch the show. A narcissist will bait, provoke, goad people. They will get people going, and then the narcissist will act all calm and smug. They lie, they cheat, they deny, they go around complaining about anything and everything just to find something to moan about, just something that wasn't right for that narcissist, any way they can to gain admiration, to gain some form of attention. Because one of the requirements is seeking excessive admiration, this is when you need to learn to step away, because the more you give them, the more they are going to seek from you. Again, the less you give them, if they've had it in the past, they've learned they can get it from you, they might escalate their games to get it back from you. So always stay safe. It's a bit like when you have cut yourself, or if you suffer from eczema. If you leave well alone, usually it can heal on its own. Depending on the severity of the eczema, you might need creams and ointments to help you with that condition. With scabs, if you leave them alone, they will usually heal on their own. However, they are very irritable. Scabs are very irritable. Eczema is very irritable. We often want to itch it. We often want to scratch away at it because it gives us that temporary relief. However, long term, it makes the pain worse. You have to kind of look at a narcissist as an irritant. And as much as you want to react to them, it's temporarily, short term, it's going to give you that temporary relief. Long term is going to make the situation worse. It's instinct, it's human nature to scratch a scab, to scratch eczema. It's very difficult to stop ourselves from doing it. It's human nature to want to react and defend ourselves to narcissistic people who are irritating us. It's very difficult to step away. We have to learn to give them no reaction, to give them no response. When they're coming at you with those verbal attacks, you need to take your attention elsewhere. And you'll often find with a narcissist, they will repeat what they're saying to irritate you. When they don't get an acknowledgement from you the first time, they will keep saying this thing. And then you might hear them say to somebody else, "Oh, I don't think they've heard me," because they're trying to get at you. So you've got to stop responding to them trying to irritate you. Don't let them know anything about you. The less is more approach. Do not let them know information about you, because if they haven't got that information about you, they cannot use it against you. The don't try to outsmart them rule. Don't try to outshine a narcissistic person. Instead, act naively. Know your truth, know the situation, but act naively. Sometimes the best way to approach a narcissist is to not outsmart them. Outsmart them in your mind, know your reality, know your truth, but let them think that you don't know it. Let them think they're getting what they want. Let them think they're getting their own way. It saves irritating their insecurities to a point where they are going to make you a victim of their insecurities. Sometimes around narcissistic people, you need to play dumb to get them to leave you alone. When they're playing the victim, don't take it personally. When they are playing the victim, don't try to rescue them. It's very difficult, but the more we rescue them, the more they learn they can rely on us, and the less they learn to rescue themselves. When they are playing the victim, you have to step away, and if you need to say things, then it's the narcissist saying of, "I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that happened to you." Because the more you help them, the more they're going to exploit your helpfulness. You can help genuine people. Genuine people will be appreciative and will not ask too much of you, and they will respect you if for whatever reason you are busy. A narcissist will exploit your helpfulness. They will want more and more and more from you, and they will get offended if you are too busy. When they're being controversial, just say yes, no, nod your head. Again, in your own mind, know your truth. However, you don't have to defend your truth to a narcissistic person, because they are usually being controversial to pull you into that argument. Step away. Don't people please as such. Don't give in to them. However, there's no wrong with just like when they're coming at you with a controversial topic, just sort of nodding your head and then, yeah, I don't really want to discuss that, and taking your attention elsewhere. Therefore, you're not agreeing or disagreeing, you're acknowledging that they've said something to give them that moment's release, and then you're moving away so that they learn that that topic of conversation is not going to get to you. Again, with some narcissistic people, they might then start repeating this because they want you to pay attention to it. The more you take your attention away from it, at some point they will stop repeating. Again, you have to be safe if you live with them, because some will escalate their behaviour. When they're blaming, shaming, criticising, judging you or others, don't give them the attention. Don't defend yourself to them. Don't explain yourself to them, because as soon as they've got you explaining yourself to them, they're going to use your explanations against you to hurt you all the more. The only person you have to explain and justify yourself to is yourself. Genuine people who are willing to communicate with you, yes. Narcissistic people who are going to use your explanations against you, no. Once we've explained ourselves to somebody once and they've used that against us, that is our lesson not to explain ourselves to them again. Disengage from the conversation, disengage from the situation. If it's a family event or some sort of friendship group event and the narcissistic person is going to be there and you're in a group conversation and they're escalating this conversation, excuse yourself and go and find somebody else to talk to. Or if you know you're going to have to go and speak to them for a bit, set something on your phone so that an alarm will go off, and then you can say, excuse me, I just need to go and check on this, and take yourself away from the situation. Doesn't matter what they think of you, it's what you think of you that counts. Don't take the bait. Recognise the game, just like that scab on your arm. Recognise it wants you to scratch it because it's irritable. The eczema wants you to scratch it because it's irritable, but you need to find something that's going to soothe that eczema, that's going to soothe that scab, that's going to help it. And the way you soothe yourself around an irritable narcissistic person is by taking yourself out of the situation and leaving them to it. Recognise the game they're playing, recognise what they're trying to bait you into, and step away. Acknowledgement that you know what they're doing, and then finding something else to do that creates that happiness within you. Ignore at all costs the things, the insults they throw at you. Ignore them at all costs. Deflect them away from who you are as a person. Recognise it says more about them and what they're trying to do to you than what it says about you. The more you ignore a narcissist, the more the narcissist learns they're not getting that attention they want from you, and unfortunately they go and seek that attention elsewhere. Leave a narcissist well alone. Once you can recognise who they are and what they're doing, leave them well alone. The more you engage in conversations and reactions to the narcissist, the weaker this makes you. The more you disengage from communication and disagreements with a narcissistic person, the more it weakens them, because the less knowledge they have about you, the less attention they're gaining from you. The more you disengage from them, the weaker they become. Yes, some will escalate their games, so you need to stay safe. However, most at some point will realise they're not getting their desires met by you and will leave you alone. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, this channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more information of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding narcissism, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.